Hello, I'm Key from Mysore Mahjongs. Today I'm with my friend again, JJ. Today we'll be talking about if Pinghu shall be worth 4 Thai in Singapore Mahjong. So, JJ, since you play SG Mahjong, right? You wanna explain what Pinghu is to any of the viewers that do not play SG Mahjong?
Okay, so Pinghu basically means that you do not have any flower or animal and just sequence hand in order to win. And you need to 听两边.
So, yeah, you're right. So Pinghu, you cannot have any flower or animal tiles, and it is worth the second highest Thai in Singapore Mahjong. It is worth 4 Thai. No other hand except for 清一色 is also worth 4 Thai, which is full flush. The only hands that are worth more than this is all the special hands already lah. 13 青幺九杠三杠胡大四喜 all these are the only hands that are worth more than 平胡. So let's say if you 听一边 can you still 胡?
听一边 I cannot who unless I 字幕.
Yeah, unless you 自摸 unless you eat until you left one tao. If you left
Yeah,
one tao only you 自摸 then you cannot 胡
okay, I
because
cannot who.
the idea of 自摸 your one-sided weight is that when you 自摸 they don't know what you draw in, right? So you can just
Yeah,
say you draw in your two-sided sequence. But if you only have one tile, right, no matter how you want to play off, right, they know you don't have a two-sided way lah. Cause one tile how to wait for two sides, right?
yeah, yeah.
So another situation, let's say you think Kalong and someone feed you the Kalong, you can do something like 偷吃. You wanna explain what 偷吃 is?
Okay, so 偷吃 basically means that, example, you have sun and wu. When someone throws 四万, you just eat the 四万. So basically become a 3, 4, 5. And I will just think my sequence.
Think your sequence. How do you think your sequence? You eat, you need to throw one away,
Okay,
right?
so basically I eat and I throw my sequence away. Example, I have a sequence 3, 4, 5. I throw my 5 and I think 2, 5.
Yes, that's true. But you know what some people will do?
What is it?
In foreign mahjong means you play with strangers, right? The house
Okay.
rule is that if you 单挑自摸 you plus $5, right?
Yup.
So maybe they purposely the 4 5 6 1, right? They throw the 5 1 out so they think Kalong. Then when they 自摸 the Kalong they get more money. But
Yeah.
that's very dumb to do cause you can wait 4 Thai already just do the 4 Thai lah. No need
Yeah.
some more plus $5 then you go need to 自摸 and plus is one side very hard very don't make sense, right?
Yeah, don't make sense.
Okay, so now we know what like Pinghu in SG Mahjong is. Maybe we take a look at what Pinghu in other Mahjong variations look like. So Pinghu Mahjong in Hong Kong Mahjong. Are you familiar with Hong Kong Mahjong?
Nope. I'm not familiar with it.
So okay lah, I not that familiar also lah. I don't play Hong Kong Mahjong as my main. So for Hong Kong Mahjong, one of the similarities is that they have flower tiles as us, but they do not have animal tiles. So it is easier to avoid flower tiles, flower and animal tiles. Because flower and animal tiles they got 12, right? They got 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hong Kong Mahjong since they only got flower, there's only 8 of them, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, okay. So it is easier to avoid them, right? So if you do Pinghu, it should be worth 4 Thai also, right? Since no flowers also.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, Hong Kong Mahjong Pinghu is only worth 1 Thai. And whether you have a flower or not, it will only be worth 1 Thai. No matter your Hua have or not, it's still 1 Thai. So do you think that Hong Kong Mahjong awards more Thai to more difficult hands? Means like
Um,
if your hand more difficult to get, it should be worth more Thai. Do you think that makes sense?
yeah, that makes sense because Singapore Pinghu is the easier. It's like the easiest thing to do already, and they give us 4 Thai. And Hong Kong Mahjong, if you do Pinghu, you only get 1 Thai.
Yeah, because Hong Kong Mahjong awards Thai depending on the difficulty of the hand. Like 青色 in 青色 in Hong Kong Mahjong is worth 6 Thai or 7 if I believe. And
Oh.
Singapore is worth 4 Thai. So there are some differences in the Thai lah, but in the end, the one similarity is that Singapore mahjong, the 清一色 is worth more than other hands because 清一色 is a bit harder to get, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, 清一色 is worth 四台 also in Singapore mahjong, but 平湖 is also worth 四台 in Singapore mahjong. But which one is harder to do? Tell me. 清一色
Sing
yeah,
Sing will be harder to do.
yeah, full flush harder to do, right?
Yeah.
And some examples also, let's say 小三元 and 半妖九, which one is harder to do compared to 平湖?
半妖九 will be harder to do.
Yeah,
Eh,
your
yeah.
半妖九 and 小三元 harder to do, right?
Yeah.
How many times you got 小三元 and 半妖九 before your whole life?
I think only once.
Yeah, once, right? Or maybe a bit more, but your compared to your 平湖, how many times you do 平湖?
Pinghu is more easier to do. It's like frequently that I will get Pinghu.
So like maybe one in 10 hands you got a 平湖 or even more than that.
More than that, around five,
Wow.
4 or 5.
One you do 平湖 every 5 hands, you can get a 平湖 every 5 hands.
Depends on luck.
Yeah.
Since last video already say the mahjong in Singapore is basically on your luck.
Okay, yeah, but so Pinghu is very easy to get in Singapore mahjong, right? It's a
Yeah.
very common hand to get.
Yeah.
So why is it worth 四台 in Singapore mahjong, but in Hong Kong mahjong is only worth 一台 no matter your flowers or not? So that doesn't really make any sense, right?
Yeah.
You tell me 半妖九 and 小三元 so hard to get already, but I do 平湖 is so much easier. Why do the 小三元 and the 半妖九 instead? It does not make sense to do a difficult hand, but you get paid less Thai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So alright, moving on from here. 平湖 in Japanese mahjong or Richie mahjong. So I'm quite familiar with Richie mahjong because it's what I play Richie more than SG so I can explain what 平湖 is. 平湖 or in Richie they call it 平湖, right? It's also worth the least Thai in Richie mahjong. It's only 一台 as also since there are no flowers in Richie mahjong, right? They cannot increase their Thai. When you 平湖 you say 一台 and you get no more flowers, how to increase your Thai? At least if you Singapore mahjong, right, 你凑 平湖 right, you can more animal and become like increase your Thai to 一台变2台, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Richie mahjong don't have animals and flowers, so how to increase your Thai? Forever 1台.
Yeah, that's why.
And the difficulty of 平湖 in Richie mahjong is that you are not allowed to eat whatever they throw at you. So even no matter how nice he feed your kalong, you cannot eat. You need to more in all your sequence in. So
Wow.
yeah, you need more your sequence and your pair. And then not just that, even though that is very difficult itself already to join all your tiles, you still need to wait for a two-sided sequence weight. So what I mean by a two-sided sequence weight is that they are not allowed to do a Norberton weight. A Norberton weight is, can you see this picture here? This is a two-sided weight in Singapore mahjong, right?
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah, you're waiting for 2 and 5, right?
Yeah.
If in Singapore mahjong you have left like this, people throw 2 and 5, you can win or not?
Yeah, I can win.
Yeah, because in Singapore mahjong you just need to have a two-sided weight. They never specify that it needs to be a sequence weight, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but since this is not a sequence weight, this is waiting for an eye, right? You're not allowed to win like this in Richie mahjong.
Wow.
So there are a lot of restrictions. You cannot eat really, cannot increase your Thai. Need to all more 进来 and you need to wait a sequence. You're not allowed to do a eye weight like this. So you tell me all this just for 一台.
Well, it's not worth.
Yeah, but this is the reality. This is the standard of 平湖. So this is the standard of like, how to say, I'm saying that a hand like this, even though it is so hard already, people are playing it for only 一台 in Richie mahjong. So
That's right.
in Singapore mahjong, how can they make it easier to do 平湖 and still award more Thai for it? Does it make sense that in Singapore mahjong they make it easier to do 平湖 and then your tie is increased by 4. You know how much is a 4 tie compared to 1 tie or not? It is 32 times more.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, 32 times more, and they make the hand easier to get. So why is that so? So maybe next slide I'll talk about why Pinghu should be worth 4台 in Singapore Mahjong. I don't hate Singapore Mahjong, but I just want to understand a bit on why Pinghu should logically be worth 4台. So these are the arguments I can come up with, which is only one: avoiding flowers and animal
Animal
tiles.
tiles.
This is the only challenge about doing Pinghu.
Yeah, so it's
So
basically more on luck. Just don't get any flower or animal tiles.
not really more luck. This is all luck, all luck. Avoiding flowers, you can't control what your next draw is gonna be, right? So it's all
Yeah.
luck. So this is the only challenge, this is the only logical challenge. I cannot say something like a challenge is that you hope that they feed you your kalong and all, because that is not a challenge at all that it should be worth 4台. Because in other mahjong already, in Japanese mahjong, you cannot eat already, and you can only get 1台. So how is it a challenge that eating in Singapore mahjong, how is it, what I'm trying to say, how is it a challenge that eating is a challenge? Eating shouldn't be a challenge. You should also be able to join all your tiles, right, like Japanese mahjong.
Yep.
Yeah, so logically eating should not be a challenge because you cannot control what your what they want to throw at you, right? What they want to weigh you is depending on what they decide, right? You cannot control
Yep.
what they want to throw, so it's not really a challenge for doing Pinghu. So what else is there to say about this hand? Okay, what do you think? Do you think it should be worth 4 Thai?
If those, I think it's actually worth because it's about the money.
Oh, okay, so true. Most of us, not most of us, I think pretty much all of us play for money, right? So you want to do you all you think about is winning money, right?
Yeah. Since it's also mahjong is like gambling.
So maybe one of the reasons they make Pinghu 4 Thai is because it's easy to get and you can earn a lot of money from it. So maybe that's why it's worth a lot of Thai, do you think?
Yeah, it's more.
Okay, but like that, if like that, then if like that, then everyone play for money. Then what's the fun about mahjong? Cause mahjong is about learning, right? Mahjong is a game about learning, about getting better, and every day learning more stuff about learning more stuff about mahjong and improving yourself as a mahjong player.
Yeah.
So if you if if there's like how to say, there's no barriers added to Pinghu like this, where it's very simple to do this kind of hand. Is there really any learning point at the end of the day? You earn money, true, but any learning point?
Nope, not really.
No, right? So not really anything else I want to talk about this. Not not really anything I want to talk about this hand, but I don't think it should be worth 4 Thai because it is not only the easiest hand to make in all mahjong variations, it is absurdly worth so much Thai that it doesn't make sense. This hand should not be worth more than a 半妖九. It should not be worth more than a 小3元 because of how frequent that you can get this hand. Avoiding flowers and animal tiles is a challenge, but that's based on your luck. Every time you play one pop, there's confirm at least one hand where you have no flowers, right? At least one.
Yeah.
So it's almost guaranteed that you can do a Pinghu every time you play one pop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so every pop you can do this hand, and it somehow is worth so much Thai. Maybe maybe Singapore Mahjong does not award Thai based on their difficulty.
Difficulties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more like, how to say, it's more like earning money. They just want to find a quick, easy way to earn money. Is that true? Because I think
Yeah,
it
I
is.
think yeah.
So maybe that's why you add like animal specials and bites like that lah. Or you get two of your flower, then people need to pay you. stuff like that and Kang need to pay all this stuff because if you realize right, Singapore mahjong uh, is a lot of transactions going on a lot of money going here and there.
Yeah.
In like other mahjong like Vichy mahjong, you Kang no you don't get paid if you Kang. Do you know that?
Wow.
Yeah, you don't get paid if you Kang or unkang.
Then what is the point of Kang?
The point of Kang is in Vichy mahjong Kang you can achieve hands like 18 lohan 4 kangs that's one
Yeah.
there's always benefits of having a kang a unkang keeps your hand concealed so you can still call Richie and you can still menqing because your unkang is closed so you are still allowed to do menqing.
Oh.
Though I want to explain to you what a kang does in Japanese mahjong, I think that's not really appropriate for this video but kang definitely have its uses in other mahjong.
Okay. So you'll be doing a next video about it.
Uh, no, this channel will only do more on Singapore videos. Okay, wait.
Alright. Sure.
Answering to this question, should Pinghu be worth 4 Thai in Singapore mahjong? If you are allowed to change this rule for every mahjong players in Singapore, so from now on, whatever the Thai of Pinghu, you're allowed to change it. Will you change it or let it stay at 4 Thai?
Let it stay at 4 Thai.
And the reason being that is because you love
It's
money.
easier to It's
Because you
basically
love
the
money.
truth.
Yeah, it is the truth. If how many people here want to deny it, it is the truth.
Yeah, because it's the easiest to do.
Yeah, there's no. If you want to explain why Pingwu should be worth 4 Thai, what can you think about except for avoiding flower, which is a luck based thing, not based on your skill. It is a luck based thing. So why should it be worth 4 Thai logically?
Basically nothing much.
Nothing much, right?
Yeah.
But maybe for some of the viewers, if they have any ideas on why it should be worth 4 Thai, maybe they can explain to us because we genuinely do not know. So I would like to learn also. So if you have any thoughts on why it should be worth 4 Thai, you can let me know in the comments.
Yeah, just comment down below.
Okay, so that's the end of the video. So I hope you all enjoyed the video and stay tuned for the next. Chinche, you got anything you want to say to them? Or anything
No.
you want to say at all? Nothing at all?
Yeah, nothing else. Right, bye.
Okay, bye.